the best.
All right, it is November 22nd, and we want to recognize people that have hit Success Club so far this month. If you are a newer coach to our team, welcome. Success Club is an important benchmark in our business when you help at least 3 new people get set up between the 1st and the 30th or 31st. With either a challenge, total solution pack, sorry, we used to call them challenge packs, total solution pack, or Shakeology on Home Direct, you earn 2 points. Once you reach at least 5 points, you officially hit Success Club. Your commissions for the month are going to be around $150 or maybe more. So not only are you getting your own product paid for, but you're also earning money. You're also moving your business forward by helping at least 3 new people for the month. And there's lots of other cool Beachbody rewards, like when you are in, you can earn free trips that we go on every spring. You can, if you hit Success Club, if you reach Success Club 3 out of the first 6 months in your business, you are officially a success starter. We've had a bunch on our team recently, and one of the cool perks is you get a free ticket to Coach Summit next summer, and you also get invited to become a part of the next test group. I know we just had people that finished the Job 1 test group this past week or weekend, so that's super exciting. All right, so leading our team with Success Club points this month is Laura. Congratulations for helping at least 8 people get started so far. She's at Success Club 14, and Angela is at Success Club 14, Laura is at 16, Angela's at 14, so they have both reached Success Club 10, and Denise Houston is at Success Club 8, and congrats to Jessica Warren for also being at Success Club. Then we have lots of people with 4 and 2 points on the board. We have just over a week left this month, so that's super exciting. Congratulations to brand new Emerald coaches, Casey and Stephanie. Emerald is huge. It is the most important rank in your business to rank advance to. Is when you help at least 2 people sign up as preferred customers or coaches, and it unlocks an additional earning potential in your business. It unlocks not only your basically your team volume savings account, but also opens up another line, like another stream of income in your weekly paychecks. So get to Emerald and make sure that you stay Emerald every week so that you can keep that savings account open. All right, that is all I have for recognition. Let me go ahead and share my team call slides next, and we will get started. Zoom. So many windows. Right. Okay, so tonight's call is, let me close that out. All right, tonight's call is probably the furthest thing from like a training or any type of, I was thinking like nothing about what I'm saying is like shoulding you. You should be doing this. It's not about growing your business in any kind of way like that. I'm not going to try and tell you things that you need to do or try and shame, guilt, or scare you into working your business in any kind of capacity, because I really don't think that any of those things work to begin with, because it makes you feel like crap and you get crappy results. Tonight, we want to talk about something that myself and Raquel, Laura, and Jessica and I have talked a lot about in the last, at least in the last year. And it might feel like the elephant in the room, and I don't think it really occurred to us that we don't necessarily talk about this that much, because we talk about it amongst ourselves. But it's like all the stuff we all go through. It's the really hard stuff in your business. Like, drop a yes in the chat for each one of these that you can relate to. Like, how much it sucks when you set a goal and then you miss it. Or how about whenever you're pretty sure you are doing all of the things, like you are working your tracker and you still didn't hit your goal. Or how much easier it is to not set a goal at all to protect your feelings. Or when it looks like it's easier for everyone else. It looks like it's easy for everyone else except for you. Or when you've had customers or coaches quit and you think that it means that you are a bad coach. How about when you think that you should be further along in your business than you are right now? And what's really hard is when you wonder if you should quit because it feels harder than you thought it was going to. I know that I am guilty of all of those things. And not just like, years ago, like pretty regularly experience those types of feelings and thoughts. I love this quote from Kristen Boss. Your brain is like a toddler running around unsupervised with a knife in their hand. And when that toddler running around with a knife in their hand is unmanaged, it can do a lot of damage. Your brain is thinking all sorts of crazy things that aren't true. Every day, your brain just like feeds you trash all the time about everything. And those thoughts have you feeling all sorts of ways. And that's all your brain trying to protect you constantly from anything that might feel scary. And that's just all so normal. Okay, I saw Kristen. I think several of you follow Kristen on Instagram. I'm in her Social Selling Academy. I know Erica is too, and she's so incredibly helpful. And she has a really great podcast too. We're gonna listen to a clip of a podcast here in just a minute. But I saw her post this reel. I think she posted this today. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the most perfect reel for this call tonight. Play that again. Oops, I went back to the beginning. Ah. So like we are our own boss. And I want you to think about what kind of boss are you? I've referenced thinking about your body as being just like in thinking about like body kindness stuff. Thinking about your body as being belonging to someone else, as being someone else. And just asking, would you speak to someone else the same way that you or in the same way if your body belonged to someone else or was someone else, or would you be kinder to it? Would you be a jerk if your body was someone else, or would you be loving? And usually our tendency is to be kind of a jerk because we're usually harder on ourselves than we are on other people. And the same goes for your coach business. You are your own boss. Are you creating a toxic work environment in your brain that you don't want to be a part of, that leads to you burning out or wanting to quit? Or are you leading with compassion and love for yourself in the way that I hope you would if you really are someone's boss, like you really do have employees, that you would treat them because that you would want them to stay around? So are you toxic or encouraging? And what kind of environment are you creating in your head? Oh, I put that quote in there again. My guess is that oftentimes, especially if you were drawn to the title of this call, that you or you answered to like yes to all of those things that felt hard all the time, or maybe you're like, oh, it feels really, really hard right now. A lot of that is normal, but also sometimes the way that we think about it makes it all worse. So we're going to talk about some of these hard things, and then I'm going to offer you some thoughts about it to help you keep on moving through it so that you can be kind of a better boss to your, more loving boss to yourself and less of a toxic one. Okay, so hard stuff number 1, making your missed goals or people quitting not mean something about you. I'm sure many of us, I know many of us because I've had conversations with many coaches on my team about when you have a coach that signs up with you or a customer and they quit, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to keep moving. And then it all kind of like adds up. And then you're starting to keep track of how, like, well, this year I've had 4 coaches that have quit. So that must mean that I'm really not a good leader and I don't know what I'm doing. Or you have challengers that are no longer active. That all adds up. And you're thinking, well, this must mean that I really suck at getting people results and I don't really have any business offering people this. These are like the thoughts that when your brain is like unsupervised and not managed, your brain starts feeding you these thoughts. Or I didn't hit Premier or Elite years and years after setting the goal over and over again, which must mean I'm not a good coach or I'm not cut out for this because other people are doing this and I'm not. Or maybe you didn't hit Success Club last month, so that must mean that you suck. And I just want to remind you that your results that you get in your business do not dictate your worth as a person or whether or not you should be pursuing the goal. If you set a goal, the fact that you haven't reached a goal that you set does not mean that that goal should not be set. You were born, and I feel like women do this way more than men about how we're like, oh, I failed at this thing, I missed this thing, I suck as a person. But you were already born worthy, loved, and equipped with everything that you already need inside of you. So I encourage you to not give that power away to other people, because when someone quits, let's say someone quits your team, or a challenger signs up and they never really start, or they just start ghosting you, it really has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Now, of course, there are things that you could listen, if you're telling yourself, oh, I suck. See, this means I'm a terrible coach and they should have never signed up with me in the first place, then you're really not going to serve that person very well. But if you stop and recognize this person ghosting me really has nothing to do with me, it's how can I be more curious about, I wonder what's going on with them? How can I still show up for them with compassion? And will probably lead to you being more curious about how you can support them better. But don't give away your own power, how worthy you are. Don't give that, don't put that in someone else's hands. Your results will never change the fact that you are enough as you are. So what if I think I already said this, when people quit, they're not quitting on you, but when people quit, as they do, not everybody, but that's just part of what happens, instead of choosing to make it mean something about you, how about you become more curious, ask them more questions, and see how you can support them more, because it never has anything to do with you. Okay, hard stuff. Number 2, really hard stuff. Learning to be okay with feeling disappointment. Feelings, both good and bad, are part of the whole human experience. And you'll never not have them. You will never go through a week without having bad feelings or good feelings. And feelings don't really last that long, honestly. So if it's not your business that's disappointing you, if you're not experiencing the feeling of disappointment in your business, you're gonna feel it somewhere else. So anytime, if you've been toying around with the idea of well, I've just been really disappointed in all of my and really discouraged in all of my missed goals lately, maybe this really isn't for me. Those, if and when you were to remove being a coach and remove your business from it, it will get replaced from someone else, because that is just a feeling that you're meant to experience regularly. So allow yourself to feel it so that you can keep on moving. Like I said, feelings don't last forever. I forget, there's some like sort of science about how long it lasts in your body. It's like, I think it's like a matter of seconds or just a few minutes, and then it's gone. And then it's going to be okay and you're not going to die. So allow yourself to feel it. Just like when someone close to you dies, you have to go through the feeling of grief and despair. And in order for you to fully experience joy in your life, you have to experience sadness. And when you set a goal and miss it, you have to allow yourself to feel the disappointment from it and not run away from it. Like, let yourself feel it. It's okay. It's not going to last forever. There's a really great podcast episode I want you to listen to, and we're going to listen to like a 45-second clip, and it's from one of Kristen Voss's podcasts. So when I go this next screen, take a picture of it, because I really want you to listen to it within the next week, like sooner rather than later. Come on. Hold on, sorry. Let me reload this. Sent.
People who have a lot of are not people who have learned to engineer their processes and their systems in such a way that it's easy and it's perfect and they figured out how to not fail. Listen, people who are successful are not people who figured out how to not fail. They are people who were like willing to feel heartache and disappointment and despair and sorrow and embarrassment and shame over and over and over and over again. And they got better at being somebody who felt that, like somebody who created an allowance for that.
So she said, people who have a lot of success are not people who have figured out how to not fail, which this was like kind of mind blowing for me in the last couple of months. They are people who are willing to feel heartache, disappointment, despair, sorrow, embarrassment, and shame over and over and over again. They got better at being someone who felt that and then kept moving. You are going to feel so human being a coach and growing your business, because you're going to experience so much disappointment. If you're setting goals, you're going to experience disappointment. If you want your business to grow, you're going to have to set goals, because the business doesn't just grow like with trying. And Raquel always says, the highs in this business are really high and the lows are really low. So it's so much easier to not set a goal to protect yourself. This is like the number one thing I struggle with personally. But that also, like, not setting goals also doesn't get you what you actually want in life or what you want out of this business. It's just like choosing to, like, getting your heart broken by someone and choosing to try love again or to try dating. She actually, in this podcast, she gives that analogy too. Like, I'm sure if you're happily married, I'm sure you've experienced heartache before. And you decided that knowing what could be, you're willing to risk that heartache again for experiencing what true love and a loving relationship and a marriage could feel like. And that was worth it to you. It's the same way with setting goals in your business. All right, third thing, comparing yourself. Weaponizing other people's successes against your insecurities. So I'm just looking at who's on my screen right now. So taking like the things that Angela's highlight reel, which is basically just like what you're going to see on social media, or what you see she's doing really well at and what she gets recognized for, and taking that piece and comparing it to Jessica's most biggest insecurities. Like, that is not even fair at all, but we do that. Like, that's what comparison is. And I think of it as like, it's when I find myself like, oh, I'm starting to compare myself to whoever, I'm like, that's like a little check engine light saying, hey, you need to pay attention to this, because you need to do some work on this area before it causes some like bigger problems in your life. So again, remember that on social media, you really only see someone's highlight reel. And that's not to say people are being fake or anything like that, just that you only see the surface. You don't know what's going on totally behind the scenes, because it's none of your business. And so you can't compare the really hard, like the painful stuff that you're going through in your life or that you're experiencing in your head, and comparing it to someone's highlight reel. So when your brain is just unsupervised and thinking these thoughts, and you're like going to believe it's true, it's going to start looking for all of the people who are doing what you're telling yourself that you can't. I was on a mentorship call a couple weekends ago with my team, and one coach mentioned, she said, and it just takes me like so much longer to write posts than it does for other people. I'm like, first of all, you don't know how long it takes other people to write a post, but it just takes me longer than it should. And then I like go on Instagram and I see, oh, Coach Y has a post up, and it must be so much easier for her. So that's taking like, oh, my insecurity is like, well, or my weakness, whatever it is, I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm getting content up, or I'm not doing it fast. And then just deciding, oh, but this person has a post up, so that must mean that it was easy for them or faster for them, or that they can do it and I can't do it, when that's just simply not true. So when it comes to this is like a work in progress for almost everybody. Stay in your own lane. And so that might look like unfollowing people, muting people, anything that triggers you to start comparing yourself until you kind of heal this, whatever you need to do. And have peace knowing that you are exactly where you need to be right now to get to where you want to go. You are not meant to be further ahead than you are. You are meant to be exactly where you are right now in order to get to where it is that you want to go. And I hope that that brings you some kind of peace. Also, when people have more sales than you do, like maybe Success Club points, or are rank advancing faster than you, it's not because they're actually doing more. They might be doing more than you, but the real reason is that they're just thinking better thoughts than you are. So for example, let's say that you're inviting every single day in your stories. And if you talked and you shared in your stories, knowing that people who watch your stories want and need what you have to offer, that will yield very different results than someone who is inviting in their stories just to check a box on their tracker and doesn't think that people want this time of year. And they're just like, you know what? No one's going to join me. It's November. It's really hard. It's really hard in the holidays for people to do this. Like, that's going to yield, those two examples, both are doing the same thing. They're sharing in their stories, or they're inviting in their stories every day, but the language changes, the confidence changes. So the person who is thinking the more I don't want to just say positive to say positive, but the person who is thinking like has that conviction and that belief that people need this, they're and thinking those better thoughts, they're going to see and experience more success. But that can be hard. This is like, and this is like what's hard is changing how you think and how you believe. So what if you saw someone having the success that you want? Like, let's say Laura, for example, she's leading our team this month. It's awesome. And I love watching her story. I'm like, yeah, she invited so simply. I love that. What if you, instead of saying, oh, it's easier for Laura, I'm doing the same things Laura's doing and I'm not getting those same results. What if instead you chose to think, if they can do it, so can I? Or this might be more realistic for you. What do I need to work on believing and thinking in order to get those results too? I know for me personally, it's beliefs about the audience. It's choosing to believe that people need this. Constantly reminding myself, people need this. Someone needs to hear exactly what I have to offer every day. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter what day of the week it is or what time of the month it is. All right, number 4, it doesn't feel easy. And I either hate to break it to you or take comfort in knowing it's not supposed to. It's, you didn't sign up for this I hope you never signed up for this business under the notion that it was going to be really easy. It just was never meant to be. Can it feel easy? Yes. Can it be fun? Yes. But working on your mindset, choosing to move through disappointment and failure and set goals that you've failed at over and over and over again and experience negative emotions, that is not easy at all. And picking yourself back up after you are feeling really disappointed, that's so not easy. And if you've been doing that lately, if you've been picking yourself up again, like if you have, I'm talking to you, if you missed Success Club last month, but you're still here on this call right now, and you've set the goal to reach Success Club again this month after missing it last month, and you've decided to set the goal again for yourself, I'm talking to you. I'm really, 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 really proud of you, because that is the stuff that's hard. And that's the stuff that makes you resilient and stronger. And I truly believe takes courage, and you're doing that. So I'm going to come back to this, it doesn't feel easy thought at the very end. And then lastly, setting boundaries, stuff that feels hard, setting boundaries. And this is maybe going to be another call for another week to dive a little bit deeper in this, because I know a bunch of us could talk a lot about this, because setting boundaries is really a messy thing, which is why I think that it's hard. But what's more important than you reaching your goal is that you reach your goal in a sustainable way so that you can still be here in 5 years from now. If you're building your business to spend more quality time with your family, you better not be sacrificing quality time with your family to build your business in the process. And I don't mean use that as an excuse to not build your business. Oh, I can't work my business because I want to spend time with my family. I mean being really intentional about your work hours and getting done what you need to get done, and then shutting it off so that you can go be with your family. Just like we would talk about with like losing weight or eating healthy, if you're not gonna stick with it, if the way you lose weight, if you don't enjoy it, your life in the process, you're not going to stick with it after you reach your goal. It's the same way with how you build your business. The way you treat yourself while you work your business matters. The way you talk to yourself, the kind of boss you are to yourself, the environment that you create in your head while you work, it matters. So treat yourself like the employee that you want to keep around forever, who feels valued. Because as one of the only 5 or 6 coaches who is still here on our team after 5 years, I've been a coach for just over 5 years, and I think there's no more than 6 of us that are still here since I started. I know I can speak for Raquel and Jessica and Laura too. Like, we know intimately how crushing disappointment from missed goals feels. We've all thought about, what would it be like if I quit? What if I don't do this anymore? Like, we've all played around with those thoughts. And that's like the toddler with the knife running around unsupervised in your head. And we know that in order to get like back on track with what we really want, a lot of it comes down to managing that toddler in our head and respecting and setting boundaries. I can speak for myself. And again, we've experienced literally everything that we talked about tonight. But there is so much joy for you to experience in your life because of this business. And we want you to get to experience that. But you got to pay attention to those check engine lights when they come on, and be aware of that toddler running around with a knife in your head, and knowing when that voice talking and when it's really just reality. And so I'll leave you with this. When you experience this the wide range of emotions and feelings, remind yourself that it's just because you are a normal human growing a business. And what if, when the times that feel hard, when you're like, well, this feels really hard right now, what if that doesn't mean that you're supposed to quit? What if it actually just means that you are on the right track? I hope that this call tonight made you feel encouraged and seen and so normal if you've experienced any of those things. Because while none of us on our team are the kind of people who just want to who are going to jump in the pool of misery and complain all the time, do know that our whole entire team has your back and knows exactly what it's like to be building a business, being a normal human trying to live the rest of your life too. So I'm a little bit over time, but are there any other thoughts or questions or anything anyone wanted to add? Oh, second guessing if you have the right personality for this. Yes, Brooke, I have. I actually brought that up on a coaching call that I had with, I know Erica listened to it, Kristen Boss a couple of weeks ago. And I kind of said something similar. I was like, is it something that's wrong with me? And no, that's again, just like weaponizing your own insecurities against someone else's successes. Because there is no right or wrong personality for this, or right Enneagram type, or anything. You are so equipped with everything you already need to be successful, exactly the way that you are. You already have everything you need within you. So yes, resistance is part of growth. That is so great, Megan. Okay, anything else, Raquel or Jessica? All right, guys. I hope that you all have a very great Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourself this week. Be a kind boss to yourself. How would a great boss treat you in the week of Thanksgiving? And we will see y'all later. Bye.